Hey guys, it's Steve of Spirit Mechanics, and you caught me being blind in my own living room. So, there's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of things that we've brought to the table, that we are bringing to the table, that we're taking off the table. Um, so, you saw the video from Brian. If you didn't, it is one of the top videos that we have on our Facebook page. But he explains a little bit about what we're shifting, what we're doing, what projects he's got going on. And, we're looking forward to making sure that we can give you guys something new, something different, or make the things that we already do better. So stay tuned for that kind of thing. We have been taking your all's criticisms as well as the things that you've been requesting. We've been taking all of that into account. That's the reason why, if you have noticed, a lot of the topics this year have been about gifts, specifically about how it is that you find them, what it is that they are. Last month was literally spent on explaining what the clairs are. This month, we're going to be explaining how it is that you can hone that. So once you understand what clair you have, the process of actually letting it breathe, the process of finding your spiritual language, because everybody is going to spiritually express themselves different. And because of that, you need to be able to bridge the gap. Cough, cough. So we're going to be discussing those kinds of things with you guys, and we're looking forward to that. So if there's any confusion about the flyer, that's what that's about. We're going to be helping you guys discover how to properly communicate, not what it is that you do, but through what it is that you do. So stay tuned for that. That'll be tomorrow night starting. Every Thursday at 9 p.m., we will be doing another episode. Of course, the last episode of every month is going to start at 8:30. These times are all Eastern, just letting everybody know. But we're going to be starting at 8:30 as we usually do for Tarot Night Live. Looking at the way things currently are shifting, this will be a normal thing. I'm going to try and do the quick word every Wednesday. Brian's doing an awesome job making sure that everything's polished, looks better, looks professional. He's really, busting the hump. But for right now, we're still going to be doing the pre-record. I'll be doing the forecast for you guys, which will be up on Friday. Now, on that particular bit, last week's forecast was the last one that is going to be on Facebook for the time being. If you want to see the energetic forecast, you'll have to hit our YouTube channel. There's a number of reasons why we're doing that. Obviously we need engagement for our YouTube, but some of the things that are going on with Meta and Facebook are kind of making people shift to other platforms. So we're kind of edging that way. Does it mean that content's going to stop on Facebook? Absolutely not. Does it mean that our live streams are going to stop on Facebook? Absolutely not. Does it mean that we're not going to give you guys posts and, awesome things like Tuesday Muse Day with Davis? Absolutely not. But more of the things that are exclusive to us. So the things that we feel are things that are set apart from the typical. We're going to be moving that to our YouTube. So stay tuned for that. You will be notified. Everything's going to be uploaded. We may even post the forecast here, but it is going to redirect you to our YouTube. Just letting you know. As far as the quick word itself, things have been a little bit rough for some people. Others, it's been pretty awesome. It's the typical day to day. But for those of you that have had it rough lately, I want you to stop for a moment and not just take a breath, because, everybody's like, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Well, you may not always have the ability. What if you're hyperventilating? What if you don't have the mental capacity to manually breathe? What if you just don't want to? So we're not going to be taking a breath. We're just going to be taking a moment. What I need y'all to do is just be still for a minute. And when I say a minute, I don't mean the entire day. I don't mean waste your week. I don't mean sit down and let the dust collect on life. What I'm talking about is give yourself a moment of silence. Now, what do I mean by that? I talk a lot about being still. Being still is the process of doing just that. Allowing yourself to sit and just be. Taking the moment to allow life to move past you for a moment. For just a brief amount of time. So that you have a little bit of a hiccup. So that you have a little bit of solace, a little bit of respite, whatever it is that you want to claim in that moment. And realize that everything is as okay as it can be, considering the situation that you are in. Giving yourself a moment of silence is a little bit different. While you're being still, allow yourself to be quiet. A lot of people want to, throw on, TikTok or Facebook Reels or, veg out a little bit with TV shows or podcasts or whatever it is that allows for the escapism. What I'm saying is be quiet. Give yourself not just a moment, but a moment of silence. Why am I asking you to do this? People change. Mentalities change. Situations change. Life is about change and how it is that we deal with it. People have a tendency to forget that grief comes in many forms. It's not just losing, a family friend or a pet and familiar or even a direct loved one. It also, concerns parts of yourself that are no longer needed. It also concerns, grieving the good old days and how they're not here anymore. Allowing yourself to process the fact that the page has been turned and it is a new chapter. Who you were is no longer present. The old you is dead. It's one of the big reasons why a lot of times when you're able to sit and contemplate, you cycle back to what is nostalgic, to what is safe, to what feels like what is beneficial. The problem is that you can't have those things the way that you used to. Does it mean that you can't still play video games if you were a gamer as a kid? Does it mean that you can't still go out to restaurants with your friends? Does it mean that you can't still express yourself in the same artistic ways that you used to? No, it doesn't. But what it does mean is that the benefit has changed. The reasoning has changed. You're a different you every breath you take. You're a different you literally every day. And you are a whole new you at least every 3 to 5 years. You can't claim to be something that you're not. And you can't continue to stay where you are. Eventually, you're going to wind up looking back and realizing that a lot of you that you thought you were is dead and gone. Give yourself a moment of silence. Give yourself that moment of nostalgia. Give yourself that moment and grieve. Let go of old habits. Let go of what doesn't serve. Let go of, the same old patterns, the same old cycles. And when I'm saying let go, I'm not saying, oh, well, drop it cold turkey and, just make up your mind not to do that shit again, because guess what? That's really difficult. What I'm saying is allow yourself to grieve it in a way that you can be healthy, that you don't have to cling to things that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. Be somebody that you want to be now. Be the person that you wanted to be then, now. Allow yourself to go, look, I was this person. I did these things, whether good or bad. But it's okay for me to allow that transition, to allow that change, that transformation into something new. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that on the forecast that's going to be coming up for you guys on Friday. Pluto is now rocking solo. It is 100% by itself. And that is what Pluto does, is it allows you to grieve who it is that you were and go through the process of ego death. For those that don't know, very quickly, what ego death is essentially a death of comfort. Now, when I say a death of comfort, I'm not talking about contentment or this or this or this. I'm talking about comfort zones. The ego is something that is out here. It's a projection. It's what's used to protect what the squishy inside bits are. That's all an ego is. When people flex their ego, it's usually because they're intimidated, or they are trying to make themselves look bigger so predators don't attack, or it is a need for control because they don't have any, or it is. Essentially, it's a defense mechanism that is well over exaggerated because of trauma or conditioning. Pluto allows you to literally breathe without having to focus as much on your ego. It allows you to change certain aspects of yourself so that you don't focus on your ego. When you keep your integrity intact and you hold humility in a higher regard than respect, you're going to find that you have more respect for yourself and get more respect from others. And you never have to worry about where you are, because where you are is where you're needed. It's where you need to be. No one has to question your motives. No one has to worry if you're lying. And that includes you. So give yourself that moment. Give yourself that moment of stillness and of silence. And allow yourself to be something new, something awesome, something you've always wanted to be. Because everybody is meant for greatness. You just have to accept the fact that you are. So, till tomorrow, which will be Thursday, and as always, take care of yourselves, y'all. Take care of each other. And remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. You can do this. One step, one day at a time. Love you.
If you like this video, make sure you check out the Spirit Mechanics YouTube channel, where we have dozens of videos going into various spiritual topics, some music, and we take you on our adventures while we ghost hunt. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with every new episode.